Hello friends, welcome to Naukari Digital Institute. Myself CA Vatsal Shah. Friends, in the today's lecture, we are discussing a recent notification issued by the ICAI, and that is drastically changed the applicability of the accounting standards. Before I start this notification, I want to give some guidance. You know very well, in the class we have discussed that there are two sets of accounting standard. Number one, that is nothing but the accounting standards for the corporate entities, which is issued by MCA, that is called the Ministry of the Corporate Affairs. And the number two, that is nothing but the accounting standards for the non-corporate entities or the non-company entities, which is issued by the ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Today I am discussing the amendment which is issued by the ICAI. And whenever I am talking about this is issued by the ICAI, one thing should be very clear in your mind. This amendment is related to applicability of the accounting standards for the non-company entities, means for the non-corporate entities. Because you know very well, this announcement is issued by the ICAI, so it is only and only applicable to the non-corporate entities. Okay. You know very well, there were two words in the market. One is SMC, that is called the small and medium sized company, and the number two, that is nothing but the SME, small and medium sized enterprise. Yes, we have already discussed in our classroom, if your entity is basically covered under the level 2 and the level 3 category, then simply they are considered as an SME, that is called a small and medium sized enterprise. But now they have changed the category, they have changed the criteria for classification, and everything is changed. In the today's lecture, we are going to discuss that particular changes. First of all, there were three categories: level 1, level 2 and the level 3. But as per this notification, as per this announcement, ICAI has bifurcated the non-company entities into the four categories: level 1, level 2, level 3 and the level 4. And every category has given some name. Level 1 category will be considered as the largest sized entities. Level 2 category will be considered as a medium sized entities. Level 3 category will be considered as a small sized entities, and the level 4 category will be considered as a micro size entities. Again I am repeating, level 1 means the large size entities, level 2 means the medium size entities, level 3 means the small size entities, and the level 4 means the micro size entities. Obviously that classification is depends on the turnover, that classification is depends on the borrowing, that classification is depends on the holding subsidiary relationship, that classification is depends on the listing criteria. But yes, let's discuss which categories are covered under the level 1 category. There are same condition, just the amount is differ, just the condition is differ, nothing is changed here. Clear? And that condition is basically given in the annexure 1 of this particular announcement. So today I am going to start with the discuss the annexure 1 of this particular announcement, and in annexure 1 they have bifurcated the non-corporate entities into the 4 parts, and they have given the conditions for every part. So let's start the discussion of the annexure 1 of the announcement. And here's, first of all, I am discussing that is nothing but the level 1 entities. And you know very well what is the name of this level 1 entities. The name of the level 1 entities will be the large entities. Forget this notification. Just remind me what you learned in our classroom. There were 5 conditions. Number 1 condition: entities whose equity or debt securities are listed or in the process of listing either in India or outside India. I am not discussing the amendment, I am discussing what we have learned in our classroom. Clear? Number 2 condition: banks, financial institutions and the insurance company. Number 3rd condition: the turnover of the company, if it is a more than rupees, how much? It's a 50 crore. Number 4th company, borrowing of the company, if it is a more than 10 crore at any time during the immediate preceding accounting year. And what is the fifth condition? That is nothing but the holding and subsidiary of the above. Clear? We have discussed this much. And if we have discussed this much, so what is the change? Let's discuss. Non-company entities which fall in any one or more of the following categories at the end of the relevant accounting period are classified as the level 1 entities. First condition is the same. There is a no change what we have learned. That is, entities whose debt or the equity are listed or in the process of listing either in India or outside India on any of the stock exchange. Clear? So if I discuss the first condition, there is no change. Entities whose securities are listed or are in the process of listing on any stock exchange, whether in India or the outside India. Clear? Second condition. That is nothing but the banks, financial institutions and the insurance companies basically covered under the level 1. So obviously again there is a no change. It is the same what we have learned in our class. That is bank. Yes, specifically given including the cooperative banks, financial institutions or the entities carrying on insurance business. Yes, third category is changed here. In the third category, when we learn in the classroom, I discussed that the turnover of the company, obviously it's an excluding other income. Whenever I am considering the turnover, we will just consider the revenue from operation only, and we will not consider any other income. So turnover of the company is rupees 50 crore in immediate, is more than rupees 50 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. Here the limit is changed. And the limit is not rupees 50 crore. The limit is your turnover excluding other income must be more than rupees 250 crore. It is increased by 5 times. Repeat again, I am repeating. It is increased by 5 times. We learn it's a 50 crore, but now it's not a 50 crore. It's a 250 crore. Yes, I want to highlight this particular thing that exceeds rupees 250 crore and not the 50 crore. Clear? So if I read the third condition, all entities engaged in the commercial, industrial or the business activities whose turnover, most specifically given, excluding the other income, means we will just consider the revenue from operation only. And the most important, exceed rupees 250 crore in the immediate preceding accounting year. If the turnover of the previous year is a 250 crore or is more than rupees 250 crore, then simply you are covering under the level 1. And yes, at the end of the lecture, I will tell you, if you are in the level 1, then the all accounting standards are applicable to the level 1. Yes, there are some relaxation and there are some exemption. And that relaxation and exemption is specifically for the level 2, 3 and 4. Means for the medium size entities, for the small size entities and for the micro size entities. Clear? Let's discuss the fourth condition. Fourth condition is also changed. If condition is not changed, I will highlight with the red ink. But if condition is changed, I will highlight with the green ink. And what conditions change? First of all, in the classroom, our condition was the borrowing including public deposit is exceeds rupees 10 crore at any time during the preceding accounting year. And that limit is changed and now it is not 10 crore, but friends, now it is in excess of rupees 50 crore. Other thing, everything is same, but now the limit is changed, not a 10, it's a 50. So if I read the condition, all entities engaged in commercial, industrial or the business activities having the borrowing including public deposit in excess of rupees 50 crore at any time during the immediate preceding accounting year. Friends, this word is the most important thing. At any time means we are not just checking the closing balance. If for any of the single day, if your balance crossed and now it's a more than 50 crore, 110%, you will be covered under the level 1 and all the accounting standards are applicable to you. Clear? And yes, fifth condition is again not changed. You know very well. If you are covered in any of the one condition, then your holding company and your subsidiary company will also be covered under the level 1 only. So holding and subsidiary entities of any one of the above is simply covered under the level 1. So in the level 1, just the two things is changed. First of all, before this announcement, turnover criteria is a more than rupees 50 crore, but after this announcement, the turnover criteria is nothing but more than rupees 250 crore. Before this announcement, borrowing criteria is a more than 10 crore, but after this announcement, the borrowing criteria will be the more than 50 crore. Don't worry at all. In the last, we will make one summary for everything. Clear? This is for the level 1 entities. Now, if I discuss for the level 2 entities, and yes, in this particular announcement, they have given the name to the level 2 entities, that is nothing but this level 2 is considered as a medium size entity. This level 2 will be considered as a medium size entity. Just a minute. So here I am writing, it is considered as a medium size entity. Clear? Okay. First of all, let's remember what we have learned in our classroom. For the level 2, there are 3 conditions. Turnover is a more than rupees 1 crore, but up to rupees 50 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. Borrowing is more than rupees 1 crore, but up to 10 crore at any time during the immediate preceding accounting year. And if you are covered in the first 2 conditions, then obviously holding and subsidiary of above. Yes, one thing in the level 1 you should consider that you are not supposed to fulfill all the conditions. If you are fulfilling any of the 1 conditions, then it will be okay. You will be covered in the level 1. Okay. If I discuss for the level 2, first 2 condition is changed. Obviously, if the turnover criteria in the level 1 is changed, obviously that will impact to the level 2, 3 and 4 also. Clear? So, non-company entities which are not level 1 entities but fall in any one or more of the following categories are classified as a level 2 entities. And first condition, the condition is changed. Now, the turnover limit is not more than 1 but up to 50. The turnover limit is more than rupees 50 crore but up to rupees 250 crore. Means it is greater than rupees 50 crore but less than or equal to 250 crore. So let's read the answer. All entities engaged in commercial, industrial or business activity whose turnover excluding other income, and this is change, exceeds rupees 50 crore but does not exceed rupees 250 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. In immediate preceding accounting year, this condition is changed. Clear? So in a bracket, if you make a summary, then yes, it's nothing but the greater than 50 crore but less than or equal to 250 crore. Second condition also change here. When we learn in the classroom, we have discussed that the condition was like this. Borrowing is more than rupees 1 crore but up to 10 crore. But now the condition is changed. Borrowing including public deposit is in excess of rupees 10 crore but not in excess of rupees 50 crore. Clear? So if I read the condition, all entities engaged in industrial or the business activities having borrowing, and the most important, it's an including public deposit. Yes, this is changed in excess of rupees 10 crore but not in excess of rupees 50 crore. Yes, at any time during immediate preceding accounting year. Means we are not just checking the closing balance. If at any time it is a more than 10 crore but up to 50 crore, then simply it will be covered under the level 2 category. So if I write here, it's a greater than 10 crore but less than or equal to, it's a 50 crore. And if you are covered under the first, any of the 1 condition, then holding and subsidiary entities of the any one of the above will be considered as a level 2 entities. Sir, why you are bifurcating 1, 2, 3, 4? Because level 1 will follow all the accounting standards and there are some relaxation and the exemptions is given for the level 2, 3 and the 4. So simply we will make a list which relaxation and exemption is given. Perfect? Okay. This is now the level 3 entities. And basically this level 3 entities will be considered as a small entities. Level 3 entities will be considered as a small entities. Clear? Okay. And in our earlier syllabus, what is a level 3? If your entity is not covered in the level 1 and the level 2, then simply, basically it will be covered into the level 3. Clear? So let's read. Non-company entities which are not covered under level 1 and the level 2, but fall in any one or more of the following categories are classified as a level 3 entities. Clear? Okay. What is the condition? Again, there are three conditions. First condition is related to turnover. Second condition is related to borrowing. And the third condition is nothing but the holding and subsidiary. Clear? What is the third condition? Turnover is more than 10 crore but up to rupees 50 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. Again, I am repeating, turnover is more than rupees 10 crore but up to rupees 50 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. And what is the condition for the borrowing? Borrowing is more than rupees 2 crore but up to rupees 10 crore at any time during the preceding accounting year. Yes, you have to learn these particular limits, then only you will give the correct answer, otherwise you will not give the correct answer. Clear? So let's read. Then this condition is changed. All entities engaged in commercial, industrial or the business activity whose turnover excluding the other income exceeds, most important, rupees 10 crore but does not exceed rupees 50 crore in immediate preceding accounting year. And yes, second condition is also changed. All entities engaged in commercial, industrial or the business activities having borrowing including public deposit in excess of rupees 2 crore but does not exceed rupees 10 crore at any time during the immediate preceding accounting year. So if you highlight the this particular limit, exceeds rupees 10 crore but not in excess of rupees, exceeds rupees 2 crore but does not exceed rupees 10 crore. Clear? So let's make a summary here. For the turnover, it's greater than 10 crore but less than or equal to 50 crore. Clear? For the borrowing, it's greater than 2 crore but less than or equal to 10 crore. And if you are covered in any of the two, then simple and the holding and subsidiary will be covered. Clear? And the last category is a level 4, and this level 4 is named as micro entities. If any non-corporate entities which is not covered under the level 1, level 2 or the level 3, then simply it will be covered under the level 4. So non-company entities which are not covered under 1, 2 and 3 are considered as a level 4 entities. Clear? Okay. Just remember, if I discuss the turnover criteria, then for the level 1, it's a more than rupees 250 crore. For the level 2, it's more than rupees 50 crore but up to rupees 250 crore. Whenever I am discussing about the level 3, it's more than rupees 10 crore but up to rupees 50 crore. And whenever I am talking about the level 4, obviously it's less than or equal to 10 crore. Okay. Whenever I am discussing the borrowing criteria, then for the borrowing criteria, for the level 1, it's a more than rupees 50 crore. For the level 2, it's more than rupees 10 crore but up to rupees 50 crore. When it's a level 3, it's a more than rupees 2 crore but up to rupees 10 crore. And whenever it's a level 4, it's less than or equal to 2 crore. I think it's now complicated. Let's make a small summary. Before the day of exam, if you read this summary only, then obviously you will get the better idea. Clear? Whether this entity is covered under the level 1, 2, 3 or the 4. Clear? Okay. Just prepare a table of the 5 column. Just prepare a table of the 5 column. Please prepare. Okay. Particulars. After particulars, level 1, level 2, level 3 and the level 4. Clear? And just draw one line here. Okay. Give a title. Particulars. Level 1, level 2, level 3 and the level 4. And you know very well, the level 1 entities will be considered as a large entities. Level 2 will be considered as a medium entities, level 3 will be considered as a small entities, and the level 4 will be considered as a micro entities. Clear? Okay. So first condition we are writing, turnover in a bracket excluding other income in immediate preceding accounting year. In immediate preceding accounting year. Clear? Whenever I am talking about the large entities, our condition is greater than 250 crore. Yes or no? Whenever I am talking about the medium size entities, it's nothing but greater than rupees 50 crore but less than or equal to it's 250 crore. Whenever I am talking about the small entities, it's nothing but greater than 10 crore but less than or equal to 50 crore. And whenever I am talking about the micro size entities, the condition is very clear, it's less than or equal to 10 crore. Clear? If I ask, the turnover is exact to 50 crore, then simply it will be covered under the level 2 categories. If the turnover is exact 50 crore, then it will be covered under the level 3 categories. If it is turnover is exact 10 crore, then it will be covered under the level 4. Clear? This was the first condition, first summary. And the next, borrowing in a bracket including public deposit at any time during immediate preceding accounting year. So for the borrowing and for the large entities, the limit is nothing but greater than 50 crore. But for the level 2, it is nothing but greater than 10 crore but less than or equal to 50 crore. For level 3, it's greater than 2 crore but less than or equal to 10 crore, and for the level 4, it's less than or equal to 2 crore. This is the basic summary. If you see this chart on the day of exams, then 110% you will get the answer easily. Perfect? Okay. Again, one thing is very clear. Let's take an example. First of all, in the year 2021-2022, you are covered under the level 2. And if you are covered under the level 2, matlab, can I say you are having some relaxation and the exemption for particular accounting standard? I will explain you and I will give you a list which accounting standard is not applicable and which is applicable with some exemptions. Then I will that list I will give you at the end of the lecture. But let's take an example. In the 2021-2022, one of the accounting standard is not applicable to me. But in the year 2022-2023, the same entity is now covered under the level 1. And if the same entity is now covered under the level 1, can I say for the level 1, all the accounting standards are applicable? And you know very well, whenever we are preparing the financial statement, we are giving the comparative information. Means if I prepare the financial statement for the 2022-2023, I will give the comparative information for the 2021-2022. But the problem is that in the 2021-2022, I was covered under the level 2, and that's why I have not followed any particular accounting standard. But in 2022-23, I am in the level 1 category, so that accounting standard is applicable to me. My problem is, should I present the comparative information? Because in the previous year, that accounting standard was not applicable to me, and that's why we have not provided the sufficient detail. But in the current year, that particular accounting standard is applicable to me. My question is, should I provide the comparative information? Answer is big no. Yes. If you are not providing the comparative information, then it will be okay. But yes, this is not mandatory. If you want to provide, you can. But understand, if you are not providing the comparative information, because that accounting standard was not applicable to you in the previous year, the same fact should be disclosed in the notes to accounts, so that your readers of the financial statement can understand the financial statement. I think I am very clear. Clear? Simple summary. In the last year, I was in the level 2 or the level 3 or the level 4. And that's why I have availed some exemption and the relaxation. But in the current year, I am in the level 1. And if I am in the level 1, can I say now all the accounting standard is applicable? In the previous year, I have not followed that particular accounting standard, but in the current year, that accounting standard is applicable. Should I provide the comparative information? Answer is no. If you want to provide, you can. But if you are not providing the information, the same fact should be disclosed in the notes to accounts. Why you have not provided? Because the same accounting standard was not applicable to you in the previous year. Clear? This thing is very clear. Another thing. First of all, I was in the level 1. But now, I am falling in the level 2. It's a reverse situation. In the last year, I have applied all the accounting standard. But now, if I am in the level 2, can I say I am having some relaxation and exemption? But what this announcement says, you can avail this relaxation and exemption after 2 consecutive years. Means if you are ceased to be level 1 for 2 consecutive years, then only you are eligible to get this particular exemption and relaxation of the level 2. And this is not nothing new. This is not an amendment. This was there in the earlier announcement also. Clear? Again, I am repeating. This is only and only applicable to the non-corporate entities. Second thing. First of all, I was using the word SME, that is called the small and medium-sized enterprise. And now the word is changed, and that is nothing but MSME. I ask, what is this MSME? It is nothing but micro, small and medium-sized enterprise. Again, I am repeating. Micro, small and medium-sized enterprise means simple. If any entity is covered under the level 2, level 3 or the level 4, that entity is considered as an MSME, that is called the micro, small and the medium-sized enterprise. And understand, there is no relaxation or no exemptions for the level 1 category. Sir, is there any difference between the relaxation and the exemption? Yes. Relaxation means entire accounting standard is not applicable. But exemption means that accounting standard is applicable, but some paragraph or some disclosure requirement is not applicable. Clear? And yes, we have discussed all the conditions. Clear? But yes, there are various notes is given in this particular thing. This was taken the decision in the 400th meeting of the council, and that was held on the 18th or the 19th March, but official announcement was on 31st March 2021. Clear? This is nothing but for the purpose of the applicability of the accounting standard. Again, I am specifically telling you, this announcement is by ICAI. So it is only applicable to the non-company entities, which are classified now into the 4 categories, level 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Clear? Okay. Level 1 entities will be considered as a large size entities. Level 2 entities will be considered as a medium size entities. Level 3 entities are considered as a small size entities, and the level 4 entities are considered as a micro size entities. Clear? And yes, these level 4, 3 and the 2 are considered as a micro, small and the medium size enterprise. In a short form, if I discuss simply, it will be considered as an MSME. Clear? Okay. The criteria for the classification is given in Annexure 1 and we have already discussed this Annexure 1. Okay. Small and medium enterprise, SME, the word was prevailing in the earlier announcement, used in accounting standard, now shall be read as MSME. That is called, just some small and medium size entity nahi bolenge, ab bolenge micro, small and the medium size entities, that is called MSME. Most important, level 1 entities are required to comply with all the accounting standard, and certain exemption and the relaxation have been provided to 2, 3 and 4, and that was given in the Annexure 2. And yes, I will discuss this particular Annexure 2. Perfect? Okay. This Annexure 1, all the conditions we have discussed, but yes, this is some additional requirement is the most important. Understand? An MSME means if you are in the level 2, 3 or 4, which avails the exemption or relaxation given to it, shall disclose by way of note to its financial statement the fact that it is an MSME. Level of MSME means you have to disclose whether you are falling into the medium, small or the micro, means 2, 3 or 4, and that it has complied with the accounting standard insofar as they are applicable to the entities falling in level 2, 3, 4 as the case may be. Means if you are an MSME, then you have to disclose this particular thing in the notes to accounts. Clear? Okay. Next. This is the most important. Where an entity being covered in the level 2, 3 or 4 had qualified for any exemption or relaxation previously. Means if I am in the 2, 3 and 4, I am having some exemption or relaxation, but no longer qualify for the relevant exemption or relaxation in the current accounting period, the relevant standards or the requirement become applicable from the current period, and the figures for the corresponding period of the previous accounting period need not to be revised merely by reason of its having ceased to be covered in level 2 or 3 or 4 as the case may be. That I have already discussed. If you are in the level 2 in the previous year, but now in the level 1, so one of the accounting standard was not applicable in the previous year, but the same accounting standard is applicable in the current year. So you have not to give the restated information of the previous year, but yes, the fact should be disclosed in the notes to accounts. Clear? The fact that entity was covered in 2 or 3 or the 4 as the case may be in the previous period, and it had availed of the exemption or the relaxation available to that level of entities shall be disclosed in the notes to the financial statement. The fact that previous period figures have not been revised and shall also be disclosed in the notes to the financial statement. Clear? Third number point is that if you are in level 1 and now you cease to be a level 1 and now you are in the level 2, 3 or 4, whether you can directly use the relaxation or exemption, answer is no. You have to wait for 2 consecutive accounting year, and this is not an amendment, this was there in earlier announcement also. So where an entity has been covered in the level 1 and subsequently ceases to be so covered and gets covered in 2, 3 or the 4, the entity will not qualify for exemption or relaxation available to that level until the entity ceases to be covered in level 1 for 2 consecutive years. Similar is the case in respect of an entity which has been covered in 2 or 3 and it subsequently gets covered in 3 or the 4. Next point, if an entity covered in level 2 or 3 or 4 opt not to avail any exemption, means exemption is given, but it's not mandatory that you have to use the exemption. If you don't want to use the exemption and if you want to apply the full accounting standards, you can do so. Clear? Or relaxation available to that level of entity in respect of any, but not all of the accounting standard, it shall disclose the standard in respect of which it has availed the exemption or the relaxation. Next, if an entity covered in level 2 or 3 or 4 opts not to avail any one or more of the exemption or relaxation available to that level of entity, it shall comply with the relevant requirement of the accounting standard. Clear? Means if you are not availing the exemptions, then you have to apply the entire accounting standard. But understand, it may be possible you have availed the exemption related to particular accounting standard, but if you have not availed the exemption related to another accounting standard, then this line is the most important. You have to disclose in respect of which it has availed the exemption or the relaxation. Next point, An entity covered in the level 2 or 3 or 4 may opt for availing certain exemption or relaxation from the compliance with the requirement prescribed in the accounting standard. Clear? Perfect? Okay. Now let's discuss some exemption and the relaxation. This is just for your knowledge. For level 2, AS3 will not be applicable. Clear? That is nothing but the cash flow statement. 17 is again not applicable. Okay. 19 is applicable but with certain exemption. Clear? And that exemption is related to disclosure only. 20 earning per share is not applicable. 21, 23 and yes 27 consolidated financial statement is not applicable. Perfect. Okay. 25 interim financial reporting is not applicable, and the 28 and the 29 it is applicable but with some exemption, and that exemption is related to disclosure only. This is for the medium size entities. Let's discuss for the level 3 entities, that is called the small size entities. Cash flow statement AS3 will not be applicable. Clear? AS10 and 11 is applicable with some disclosure exemption only. That is, that exemption is not given to level 2, that exemption is only given to 3 and 4 only. Clear? Okay. Again, AS15 is applicable with exemption. 17 is not applicable. Even 18 is not applicable for the level 3. 18 is not applicable for the level 3, but the same was applicable to the level 2. 19 same, applicable with a disclosure exemption. 20 not applicable. 21, 23 and the 27 is not applicable. For level 3, 24, that is discontinuing operation is also not applicable, and 25 interim financial reporting is not applicable, and the 28 and the 29, that is impairment of asset and the provisions, contingent liabilities and the contingent asset is applicable with a disclosure exemption. Level 4, it's a micro entities. There are various accounting standard which is directly relaxation is given. That is AS3, perfect, not applicable. 10 and 11 is applicable with disclosure exemption. Even there are some disclosure exemption is given for the AS13. AS14 amalgamation is not applicable. 15 applicable with exemption. 16 borrowing cost is not applicable. 17 segment reporting is not applicable for the micro size entity. 19 applicable with a disclosure exemption. EPS is not applicable. 21 is not applicable. AS22, just you have to provide the current tax effect, not to provide the deferred tax. Clear? 23, 24, 25. Yes, 26 is applicable with some disclosure exemption. 27 not applicable. Even impairment is not applicable to the micro size entities. And yes, applicable 29 is applicable with a disclosure exemption. Understand why there is a need of this particular definition, particular announcement. Just government wants to do that the people will do the business easily and not to take the burden of accounting. And that's why this much relaxation and exemption is given to the micro size entities. Clear? So again I am repeating, this is the specific announcement by the ICAI. So it will only and only applicable to the non-company entities. Clear? So this is the basic amendments in your introduction of the accounting standard chapter. Thank you friends. Thank you very much.
If you like this video, share it with your friends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more such videos and learn from our expert faculty members. Press the bell icon to get regular notifications whenever we upload a new video. Download NDI mobile app to get complete CA course online. We value your support. Thank you for watching.